Hey, kia ora. Helen Brums here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2150, Awakened and Unapologetic. That is who we are. Oh, I seem to have a rooster comb up here. Oh, just adds a little height. So before we get started with tonight's topic, I have been talking about this for ages and keep forgetting to bring them down and show you. And I've brought down my Music Cozy. In case you're wondering what the Music Cozy is, I have talked about these. This is a headband. It is an eye mask. It's a sleep mask that you can wear. This is it here. And it's got headphones right here. Now, for me, the headphones sit just behind the ear, but I can still hear very clearly and very perfectly. Up the top here, it's Bluetooth, so it'll connect with your phone. Up the top, we've got lower the volume, increase the volume, and the power switch in the middle there. And I would tell you, see how got the little holes there? It's ventilated, so it keeps it nice and cool. And the other cool part is that on the inside here, you have this beautiful, soft, silky feeling. I don't actually know what fabric it is, but silky, soft feeling fabric that goes over your eyes and that. And the cool part is, notice how it's got these insets here, where you can actually, when you're actually got this on, you can actually open your eyes behind it, and it's not putting pressure on your eyes. This here puts the pressure puts it around your eyes, not actually on the eyes like some sleep masks do. And this helps block this area here. These are super comfortable, very, very comfortable. And hang on, I've got a feel for it. Hang on, it's in here. And they're very, very soft and cushiony and even on hot days, these are very comfortable to wear. Oh, here it is. So tucked in here is a USB connector, so you can charge up the headphones when you need to. And that just tucks away. That just tucks away back in there. And it doesn't bother you because you can actually tuck it under the padding and you don't feel it. But these are super, super comfortable. I love these things when I'm doing meditation, because it helps take the light away. It deprives me of light and it gives me close-up sound. It deprives me of light. You ever been floating? I love floating. It's one of those sensory deprivation tanks where you just get in there and they've got the and you float in this tank, and it's Epsom salts is the one that I had. They just had a bunch of Epsom salts in there, and you just floated for the time. And I actually had like it was almost like a travel pillow behind here, because I have a thing with water that I don't like. I can't get water in my ears because then I end up with all sorts of infections and stuff. So they had these waterproof inflation things that could go around your neck and keep your head out of the water, which was nice for me. But these just go on, and you have an adjustable band here, just like that, does that. And it just goes on. You can stretch it over and all that sort of stuff. But it goes on like this. And now I've got the earphones. Here's my ear, and here's the earphone right here. So you can see it's just behind my ears, but I can hear perfectly fine. Here's the ear on this side, and here's the speaker here. So side sleeping is out for me because I side sleep. So side sleeping's out for me. But these are very, very comfortable. My eyes are completely open on the inside, and I cannot feel, when I'm opening and closing my eyes, I cannot feel the fabric that's on the inside there. So that was fun. Makes me want to, I tell you, when I put these on, it makes me want to just go and Bluetooth my phone in there and put some music on and just go relax. It's great for relaxation, especially with me. When I sleep, I want dark, no light. I just want pitch black when I sleep. So during the day, if I'm having a nap or just sitting in the chair, and if I'm sitting in the recliner here and I just want to rest and I don't want any light coming in, I'll put these on and put some music on. And yes, I will go to sleep. And Zeffie gets no, because it's her recliner. Yes, her recliner, not mine. No, not my recliner. But anyway, and then they come in different colors, but this is the purple one that's got the aerated front on it. Absolutely love them. And I put the link in the comments below. But I think if I remember correctly, they're only like about $15. So anyway, don't quote me on that though. Anyway, now on to what we're on about tonight. That's my commercial over for the day. Now we're on to the important stuff. Thank you for your attention during that time with that. So, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about awakening and unapologetic. Oh, I love that word, unapologetic. Yes, absolutely. There comes a moment when awakening settles into your bones, not as a jolt, but as a quiet certainty. You see things clearer, you stand taller, and you stop apologizing for the space you take up or the truth you now carry. Awakening isn't always about sudden transformation, it's about integration. Tonight's reflection invites you to consider what truths have settled in, what old narratives have you finally released, and how are you living unapologetic because of it. Ooh, this is all the good stuff. So what it teaches us is that was what it what happens when you stop asking permission to exist as your whole self. We've already covered permissions back on, when was that? Week 4. I'm going to put my cheat sheet up here. Week 4, we covered permissions and about giving yourself permission to exist as your whole self. So stop asking others for permission to exist as your whole self and just be who you are. Be your authentic self. Be unapologetic for it. It makes a huge difference. And instead of, there's some situations you'll go into and you say like, oh, yes, but they want me to be this way. They want me to be that way. Be who you are. Life is too freaking short to be worried about asking permission from other people to be your whole self. Give yourself that permission and do it. Boundaries become easier to hold when you are standing as your whole self and existing as your whole self, being authentically you. Your boundaries become easier to hold. You know what you're going to say no to. You know what you're going to say yes to. There is no, do I say yes? Do I say no? If I say yes, then what are they going to think about, blah, blah. If I say no, they're going to feel like I've rejected them. But yeah, be you. When you are standing as your whole self, when you had that awakening and you're being unapologetic, you attract people and paths that match your truth. And I will tell you, great things come out of all of that. So how can we carry forward? Honor the journey that led you here, flaws and all. You would not be the person you are today had you not gone through the experiences that you have gone through, the pitfalls, the victories, the obstacles, all of that stuff. I was trying to think of another word and then it just totally out of the head. So when you're standing, honor the journey. It's like, and you've heard me talk about this before. If you're just new, my late husband, Brad, used to ask me if we could go back and change anything, would I? And I said, absolutely not. And he goes, not even him getting cancer? I said, no. I said, because we would not be the people we are today had we not been through the journey that we had been through because of cancer. I said, there's a lot of things that we can be grateful for because of your cancer journey. And the fact, look at the people we've met. Look at, we got you back from the West Coast, from the East Coast to the West Coast. He had a thing to go back home and live in the LA area or close to it, because he wanted to be closer to family. He wanted to reconnect with family. He'd been living on the East Coast for like 20 something years, and he wanted to go home. So we made that happen. Had it not been for cancer, we probably wouldn't have done that, because it was a wake up call for both of us that life is short. There is no time to dilly-dally and go, oh, do I want to do this? Oh, but if I did this, then this will get these people upset and these people would be happy. And if I did it this way, then these people would be upset and these ones would be happy. Be who you are. Stand in your truth and be unapologetic about it. When we carry forward, own your voice, your values, and your presence. Own your voice, your values, and your presence. And keep choosing alignment over approval. And that is a big one. Keep choosing what is in alignment with you rather than seeking approval from others to make them happy. We've talked about this in becoming. We've talked about this in rhythm. We've talked about this in permissions. We've talked about this in sacrifice. We've talked about this in surrender and in redirection. And now we're talking about it again in awakenings. Oh, and in the stories we carry. I forgot week 1. Forgot week 1. How can I do that? But anyway, keep choosing alignment over approval. And remember, sometimes people are going to they want you to go back to how you were, how they remembered you. You have to step forward and show them who you are, who your authentic self is. The legacy connection is who modeled unapologetic living for you? Who was that person that showed you this is how you live unapologetically? I really like that word, unapologetically, unapologetic. I love that word. I like saying it. What legacy are you now shaping through your own awakening that those coming behind you can model? Every bold step becomes a breadcrumb for someone else. And we talked about breadcrumbs last week and redirections, looking for those breadcrumbs. Which ones are we going to follow? Which trail are we going to follow? And tonight we have five reflection questions for you that you can put into your Porch Light Reflections journal, which you can get by scanning the QR code up here in the left-hand corner. And remember, you've got a page. Oh, you've already had that one, but you're going to get it again. You got the page with the thoughts on it to reflect. There's 21 of those, and then there's 22 of these pages of the Porch Light notes where you can just got basically a free page. So put your questions in here and start writing, and you can use these in any order. You don't have to start at page 1 and go through to page whatever it is. I know there's some people out there who will do that, but if you're like me, excuse me, you're going to jump around in there until you find a prompt that's sort of like, I can talk to that prompt today because of what happened today or what I experienced today. That prompt is very relevant. I want to talk about it. And so I want to write about it. So go do it. We are going to be releasing this weekend, depending on Amazon's approval. We will be releasing the first 8. I'm going to try for 8 volumes. So for each week that we have covered a topic, a theme, like the stories we carry, becoming, rhythm, permission, sacrifice, surrender, redirection, and this week, awakenings, we're going to have a volume for each week with all of the questions that the reflection questions we ask you on each episode will be in there along with some extra ones as well, because we want to keep it at 21. So that's how we're going to do it. So tonight we give you 5. So what part of me am I no longer apologizing for? What moment helped me see myself differently? How do I protect and honor my truth? Where have I said yes to myself lately? How do I want to live from this place of awakened clarity? And those are your questions for tonight. And your closing thought for tonight is awakening doesn't ask for your apology. It asks for your embodiment. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific.